Welcome everybody to another day in paradise. My name is Kudim Kardi and you're watching another vlog. Now for you regular consumers of my content, it's going to be a little bit different. This video is mostly going to be a tech review on the A7R III and the Sony A7riii+100 Gmaster lens. For those of you guys who are new to my content and you like what you see, go ahead and consider hitting that subscribe button. I don't do a lot of tech reviews, but I do love photography and videography, and I love making things look very cinematic. This video isn't going to be a nitty-gritty pixel peeping video. I'm just going to go over what I like about the A7R III, what I like about this lens, how I feel it performs for the prosumers. I'm going to explain to you why I chose to pair with the A7R III instead of the A7 Mark III when shooting these sports. Both of these have been out for several months, so there's already a ton of reviews on them. I'm going to be using them in a professional sports environment and kind of giving you my opinion on it. And you guys can kind of decide if you're on the fence between the 100-400 or maybe a 70-200 or the A7 III versus the A7R III. I'll kind of give you my 2 cents on why I like this setup for my professional photography. Okay, so a lot of people say that the 42 megapixels doesn't justify the $1,000 price difference for most people. I would say that's half true. The fact that you can get so much resolution and punch in so much is worth it to me, so the higher megapixels makes a huge difference. Now the reason I chose the 100-400 is for the extra reach. Most gigs that I need a nice shallow depth of field on, I am not using a telephoto lens. So the 70-200, the 2.8, I don't need it. I'm not using it enough, but I do always find myself in situations where I wish I had that extra reach. So I chose the 100-400 for that reason, just so I could have the extra reach. I am noticing that I do miss the 10 frames per second on the A7 III, and I may be missing some of the shots, but I'm getting enough shots that I'm okay with what I'm getting. If you guys are shooting high action sports and you absolutely need the perfect shot, go with the A9. That one's a little bit more, $1,000 more than the A7R III, but higher frame rates. Now, relatively, this setup is a lot lighter than most other DSLRs with a 100-400 focal range. One thing to be mindful of with the A7R III though is because it's 42 megapixels, the raw file is going to be much larger. You're going to need a faster and larger SD card to store all these raw files. Okay, done with this day of shooting. The 100-400, I definitely am very happy with getting that lens, but it's not for everybody. It is an extreme telephoto lens. It's not super fast, so some people may dislike that, but I was able to get some amazing photos with it. If you're considering the A7 III or the A7R III, but you don't have nice glass or you won't be able to afford very nice lenses, if you get the A7R III, don't do it. Your glass is gonna be the best investment. Any photographer or videographer who knows what they're talking about should know this and should advise that you always invest in good glass. Okay, it's day 3 of our review of the A7R III and Sony 100-400 Gmaster lens. I am currently waiting for another creator, Paul, to show up, who told me he would be here by 6:30. What we're gonna do is we're gonna set a timer. He's gonna pull in from this street, and we'll see how long it takes him. He's no fun. He was on time. I was expecting you to be late to your expected time.
Yeah.
I'm driving. You can set up the camera.
I will. Oh my god, that's blown out.
That's what you get. Look at him vlogging over there. Such a cute new vlogger. Well, that's not foreshadowing anything. Me and Paul just got to the pier. We're gonna be shooting some video here. I am gonna be shooting on the A7riii while he's on the A7. Excuse me, I'm doing a bit here. Okay, so the reason I'm collabing with Paul today on this review is we're both filmmakers, and I'm gonna be using this lens a lot for video, which is not something that a lot of people do. I've heard complaints about the image stabilization not being good enough for video, but everything that you've seen so far has been handheld using just the image stabilization from this lens and the camera body. I feel that this is a pretty excellent video lens. We're gonna shoot some more footage and then we'll talk a little bit more about why I like this for video, even though I've kind of covered most of it. Honestly, I don't even notice the difference between the autofocus of the A7riii and the A7 III. What I really like about this lens is this smooth to tight ring. Smooth just makes it so super quick. Ooh, I'm gonna accidentally slam it. And then tight makes it a little bit harder to twist. Oh. The short boarders have a lot more maneuverability, so like you'll see them doing all the tricks and stuff. So I think while we wait for the short boarders to like do the competition, we should check out the skating. You want to kind of see what they have like booth-wise? It's up to you. You kind of have free reins to do what you want until the skaters like open up in like 20 minutes. Yeah. And then we'll go get shots of like the skaters and talk about it with the lens and stuff. And then you can vlog whatever. Oh, creeper! Creeper! What the heck? So, one thing that I noticed is when you're shooting 4K, that's when you're gonna have a lot of trouble with the shake and keeping the shots steady, especially when you're not moving quick, because it seems that the image stabilization in the actual like lens isn't activated when you're just trying to hold it steady. It's more there when you're moving the lens. So for following action video, amazing. I didn't notice any really shake in camera. I was wrong. Mode 1 actually is pretty stable for those just handheld stabilized shots, not tracking motion. It's been pretty stable. Turns out I was actually in mode 2. Okay, I haven't done handheld like this for a while. Paul is using my A7 III right now. This is gonna be a regular part of the vlog. We're taking a break from the 100 to 400 review. So I'll put a timestamp on the screen right here. That's where you'll get back to the vlog, or that's where you'll get back to the review. Because Paul is healthy, I am now going to eat healthy, which I said I've been gonna do for a while, but
to that.
Yeah, thanks Paul. Where are you?
So we came to Bonsai Bowl to get some acai bowls because I didn't want burritos.
This is like Instagram crap.
You are with a food blogger. You realize that, right?
The food blogger won't let me eat my healthy crap until he gets his shots. Can I eat my healthy stuff yet?
Yes.
Okay. Hello! You're so cute! Oh my goodness, I love you.
Everybody says that.
Got our acai
Paul,
bowls.
thank you for the
This is really hard to do. To try
okay,
to blog
come
with.
on. Let's take
Get out of my
turns.
shot.
Let's take turns. I have the mic. They're my cameras. I should go first. But you know what? I'll be the bigger man and I'll let you go first. Go ahead.
We just left Bonsai Bowl, had our acai bowls. Now we're gonna head back to the US Open. catch some skateboarding and maybe some better surfing this time.
You were supposed to politely decline the going first part.
No, I just went first anyways.
Thank you again for breakfast. The acai bowl was actually pretty good. Second time I've gotten acai with you. I feel like it's becoming a thing with us.
It is.
Ah, cool. It's our date thing. Our anniversary. We're gonna have acai. We're gonna sleep in a bed of acai. It's gonna be nice.
Swim in it.
That's some clean ass work, my nigga. My white guy.
Ah, there we go. So this is gonna be Paul's first time shooting action like this. Are you excited?
Very excited.
You looked at me, not the camera. You talked to the
Very
audience.
excited.
There you go. Okay. Don't fall on the camera. Let's go. No, it's not. It's good. Okay, so Paul's now taking a crack at the 100 to 400. We're shooting. What's your opinion? Address your audience.
Can you see the drool coming out of my mouth when I use the camera? When I use this lens?
Oh,
And
do you
camera
like
setup?
you like that gear that much?
It's dope, dude. I think you sold me on a zoom lens.
And you did it.
Set up the shot.
No, you're
Dirty
good.
fingernails.
You got that right?
Of course.
Okay, shoot's done. Camera's about to die. I'll talk to you guys in a bit. Say bye to Paul. Wait, where'd Paul go? My bad on the battery right there. We've been shooting all day. It was bound to happen. I also forgot to charge it over the past 3 days. But we're still gonna blame Paul. Now, let's get into the nitty gritty on the experience with the 100 to 400 and the A7R3. Pros, the 100 to 400 has amazing reach, great autofocus, and is really sharp when paired with the A7R3. Right now I'm in a little bit of the honeymoon stage with the 100 to 400, so I can't really complain because I knew what I was getting myself into. I guess the big qualm would be that it's not that fast, but I didn't buy the lens with the intention of it allowing a lot of light in. Best, most affordable native lens to be able to get some telephoto reach. You can always adapt glass, but I much rather prefer to use native glass just because you get better image quality as well as full advantage of the autofocus and everything on the camera. The 42 megapixels on the A7R3 were amazing for those stills. The one that I showed earlier where I zoomed in and had it go on the whole entire screen, that was already 300% cropped before I blew it up on the screen, and it still retained a lot of detail, which just blows my mind. The focus hold buttons on the lens would be really cool if you could set one to one focus point and then the other to another focus point. You could get some cool rack focus shots for video, and it would make it really easy to switch your focus point really quickly on the fly when trying to take photos of action and sports. There were only really two big qualms I had with the A7R3, and I'm so used to the A7III's low light performance that the A7R3 could not go up to those higher ISOs. We were in bright sunny environments, but my ND filter, I didn't want to take it off in some of those darker situations, and I did notice that it couldn't perform at really high ISOs. It got really noisy after about 6400, which I'm sure you could correct in post, but it's just not the same low light performance as the A7 III. Then the frames per second just weren't the same as the A7 III. I found that on my A7 III, because of the smaller file size and the fact that it can do 10 frames per second compared to the A7R3's 5 frames per second. Once again, this review is not like a spec sheet reading, it is just my opinion on it. I was just not getting the 5 frames per second even after a few bursts, just because my card wasn't fast enough. Even though I do have a pretty fast card, it just wasn't there. Although I love those larger files because I could punch in, I did miss a couple shots that I noticed when I actually took the photos into Lightroom. So the A7 III may be a better option for sports photography than the A7R3, honestly. It's ridiculously fast with those frames per second, and it's pretty much the same sensor resolution as the A9. There is a little bit of difference between the sensor and the A9 and the A7 III, but $2,000 worth? Probably not for what you guys are expecting it to be. If you guys are in the market for an A9, you probably know exactly why you're getting that. It is a very specialized camera, a great camera, but it is very specialized towards events where you need ridiculous frames per second. I mean, if you're using it as a hybrid camera, there's no S-Log on it, which is like something essential for hybrid shooters who do both video and photo, in my opinion. Other little small things that I noticed while out there with the A7R III is the viewfinder being brighter. When I was first purchasing the A7 Mark III, and I heard that the viewfinder was the only big difference, that and the megapixel count, I was like, who cares? Viewfinder's a little dimmer. But switching back to the A7 III, I actually really did notice the difference, and I do like having that clarity in the viewfinder of the A7R III. With the 100-400, the actual buttons on the lens that I was using the most was actually the transition ring between tight and smooth. All in all, I can say with full confidence that I will be using this in video production as well as photography. My next test with it will be hiking into the wilderness with it, or just hiking with it, and seeing how it does with wildlife, with landscapes, and testing that out. And I'll give you guys an update on my opinion for that. Real quick, what's actually in my camera bag now, I was trying to just have 3 lenses to rule them all: 16-35 Gmaster, 24-70 Gmaster, and the 100-400 Gmaster, with the A7R III and the A7 Mark III in my low pro bag, and that's it. That's my setup. If you guys have any questions on the ND filter that I was using the Quartz line by Polar Pro. It is like the gold standard in ND filters now. I think that's where I'm going to conclude today's episode. I'm going to go back to regular vlogs over the next day. If you guys watch this for a review, I hope you guys enjoyed my 2 cents. I know it wasn't a super in-depth review. For those of you guys who watch my vlog content, hopefully you guys enjoyed this, and maybe you guys learned a little bit more about cameras, even though I did not go fully in-depth. If you guys give me a thumbs down because I didn't go fully in depth, I'm pretty sure I gave the disclaimer at the beginning. But I really was excited to get these 2 new lenses, and I really just wanted to focus the vlog on it because it's my new camera equipment. The US Open was going on, and there was a lot of exciting stuff to shoot, so I thought it was a great setting for testing out these 2 pieces of equipment. If you guys enjoyed this content, I said at the beginning, but go ahead, hit that subscribe button. If you guys really enjoyed this video and maybe you aren't ready to commit to subscribing, go ahead, give me a thumbs up. If you guys are like die-hard supporters and you really want to see me grow and make more content and do more stuff like this, you can click on the Patreon link below. If you guys become a patron, you guys are essentially donating a couple dollars a month towards my filmmaking dream, so I can put that back into the vlogs and create bigger and better content for you guys. I also want to include like postcard prints and stuff like that for you patrons. In doing so, kind of make it collector's items or something like that. But I need to establish a better print list, which I'm hoping to do with the A7R III and these super sharp, super amazing lenses. With all that being said, you guys have a great day. I'll see you later.